I was stuck for 10 straight years at least, going back and forth in my weight, being disciplined, undisciplined, disciplined, undisciplined. I would lose 20, 30 pounds, and then I would gain it right back the next couple months. I got super ripped whenever I was in my early 20s with P90X, whenever I was a teacher, living on my own in Salem, Ohio. And then I got married, had kids, and everything kind of changed. I lost my discipline, I lost my motivation, but I had this memory of myself super disciplined and ripped. That image of myself never really left me. And that is what kept me motivated the entire time. And I would write down in my journals, I said, why can't you finally just get it together? Why can't you ever go back to that guy? Because I was 21, I was ripped. I was 25, 50, 60 pounds heavier. Then I was 30, still 50, 60 pounds heavier. Then I was 31, 32. And a decade was passing. Time was passing, and I could not get back to that guy that I was, and I didn't know why. But now I do know why, and I'm going to share it with you. Hi, I'm Chris Rodak. I'm the founder of Rising Father and the Father Transformation Program, Men of Fire. This is where we take undisciplined fathers and make them inspiring, unbreakable leaders of their families. Sometimes we are stuck in an undisciplined hell. We want to change. We want to get ripped. We want to be disciplined. We want to keep our promises to ourselves. We want to be leaders of our family. We want our wife to respect us. We want our children to respect us. We want to stop snapping. We want to be patient and present. All of this is discipline. A very small amount of it is just what you look like. But what you look like is a reflection of the discipline that you feel on the inside. So it is kind of a barometer of your inner discipline, but that's not the whole point. If a guy wants to improve his discipline, many times it's because he wants to be more patient. He wants to be more present at home. It's because he can't keep promises to himself. His business is stalling, or it's dying, or his career is stalling, or he's lost his fire and he's having an identity crisis. This video today is going to be about why that happens, how you can finally get off the roller coaster, and most importantly, how you can burn the identity of the man that's holding you down. Because that's the real problem. The real problem is that we are still stuck to this identity of the guy that we're trying to flee. We say we want to change, but we don't really want to change. It's a lack of discipline, lack of consistency. It's the person has become a man who does not keep their promises to them. And most importantly, this man is a guy who is still stuck in his old identity. And I'm going to give you two perfect examples from the gym this morning. I went to the gym this morning. Right now it's Saturday morning. It's about 11 a.m. right now. So I was at the gym this morning at about 5:30, and there's a couple people there on a Saturday morning. And the guy I went to high school with was there. He's a principal at some school. Jacked, ripped guy, super big, extremely strong. He has won natural bodybuilding competitions, like national competitions. I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, I want to be one of the best in the world now. So now he wants to be in the top 3 of the world, which is unbelievable. So he's my age. He was 38, has a full-time job, principal. He's got 3 kids. He's married. He's got an 8-year-old, 7-year-old, like 4 or 5-year-old. And he goes to the gym every single day at 4 a.m., 6 days a week. So demanding job, extremely chaotic, demanding home life. Plus he's working out 6 days a week and wants to be one of the best in the world at bodybuilding, which is the discipline of the discipline, athletic things you can do. In terms of the physical suffering you have to go through at the very end. I mean, I'm telling you, it is rough. I've never been to that level where I'm 5% body fat, but I know many guys who have, and it is hell for months and months, if not a year. So he's doing that. There's another guy I went to high school with, same grade, so he's also 38 years old. In high school, he was the strongest guy in our entire school. So he was, nobody else was as strong as this guy. He was a genetic freak. He was one of my best friends. He got married, held it together for a little bit, had kids, took a job. He's let himself slip, and he knows it. He'll tell you that. He gives himself excuses. He's been thinking about getting it together for a decade. He's basically where I was like 5-6 years ago, where he let himself slip because of fatherhood, middle-aged responsibilities, being a husband, all that kind of stuff. He's let himself slip. He has the genetics to where he could like go back for a couple months and he'd be a beast once again. But he's been telling himself for years, life's too crazy. I've got little kids at home. My wife needs me, blah, blah, blah. My job, all these excuses that this other guy is saying, well, yeah, it doesn't bother me. And we both know this guy. We're both ragging on him, telling him to get his ass to the gym. Even today I was messaging him. But I got good news about that. The guy who is still thinking about it, he's very different. He has a different identity. Because I messaged the guy who's one of my good friends, who was a savage, the guy who's let himself slip and isn't going to the gym. I messaged him today and I said, you need to get your butt back in the gym. Me and this guy were talking about you. We're saying what a savage you are. You need to get here. I said, he's got kids. We've all got kids. We're all in the same phase of life together. We're all got demanding jobs. There's no reason you can't do it. And he's like, his response was, I'm thinking about it. He's like, okay, I'm thinking about it. So luckily, the guys on my text chain, we were like, dude, there's nothing to fucking think about. So I said, you've been thinking about it for years. This is not a logistical problem. This is a you need to decide who you are problem. That's it. It has nothing to do with you don't know how to work out. Like, what's there to think about? When people say I need to think about it, all that is a smokescreen for saying I'm just scared. That's all it is. Do you really have to think about getting your butt to the gym? What's there to think about? I drive to the gym. I get there, I work out. There's nothing to think about. And you know that. If you're a guy who says that, that is your noble sounding lie for covering up the fact that you're just afraid to move on to this next stage of your life. And that's what I told this guy. And he knew it was true. And guess what? He's coming to the gym. Me and my buddies, we were able to motivate him to get his butt back in the gym. So now he's coming back with us. And a couple months, he's going to surpass me. He's just got those genetics. He's a freak. But the difference between these two guys was their identity. Both have demanding jobs. Both have demanding families. Both are in their upper 30s. One has his sights set on being the best in the world. That's how he sees himself. I was talking to this guy. You could feel the fire in his face this morning when I was talking to him. The other guy, his identity was, until we talked to him, his identity was, I'm upper 30s, I'm 40. I'm slowing down. I can't push myself anymore. I got to be safe. Those days are behind me. Because that is how he sees himself, that's why he remains stuck. This other guy, he's the same age, but he knows that next year he's going to be in the best shape of his life. I was talking to him. His goal, he's like, yeah, I'm not setting any short-term goals anymore. He's like, my goal is 1.5 to 2 years from now. So he's going to be in his lower 40s, and he still has a 2-year goal of being the best in the world. He's going to do it. This guy's a savage. He can absolutely do it. There's no difference in the income. There's no difference in what they have available. They could both go to the same gym. Our gym's not expensive. It's like $40 a month. Both live close to it. Both can do it. Both have demanding families. The difference is in their mindset. The difference is in how they see the world, and most importantly, how they see themselves. And that's what today's podcast, this video is on, is how we can get out of that self-imposed cage of a limiting identity. It's like the governor on you. We did a past episode on the internal governor that keeps us stuck. It's our beliefs, the stories we have about ourselves. It's very easy to get into this complacent stage of our life where we're like, yeah, everything's slowing down for me. There's nothing I can do. Life's over. I need to. And if you're surrounded by people who think and talk like that, then it's very, very hard to get out of that. It's like you're trying to swim upriver. If everyone in your life is saying, yeah, Dude, it's okay, Chris. You're 30s, 40s. Don't be like those guys you see on YouTube. Don't be like those other guys. Be like me, who's giving up, who drinks every weekend, who eats, who sleeps in, and is satisfied with his income and his job. Be like me, because then that justifies my life, and then I can feel better about myself. If you're surrounded by 10 people who think like that, then you're going to become that. It's like swimming upstream. However, if you're surrounded like people that I surround myself with, like in Men of Fire, like at the gym, like at jiu-jitsu, guys who are talking about starting businesses, talking about writing books, talking about being the best in the world at bodybuilding, and they're in the same age group. They're still 30s and 40s and 50s. And they're saying, no, next year is going to be the best year of my life. We just had a guy in our Men of Fire call yesterday. He's 47 years old. He said this year was the best business year of my life. He's also in the best shape of his life. He's also has the best marriage he's ever had in his life. And he's like, yeah, no, I said that to my wife, and she said to me, no, next year is going to be the best of our life. And he's 47 years old. But I know guys in their mid 30s and low 30s, even upper 20s, who talk like life's over. Has nothing to do with reality, has everything to do with what's going on between their ears. It's just the voices that they are telling themselves. That is what's keeping them stuck. The guy who does that, let's talk about the diagnosis. Because this podcast, this video, is in response to somebody on my stories. I said, what do you want me to do a podcast on? And they sent me a DM and said, do it on this. I said, sure, I'm doing it right now. It's a perfect thing to do a podcast on. I said, let go of my old identity. You will be enslaved forever until you can let go of that old identity. You cannot escape it. You can't escape who you believe you are. And then every single day we back that up, and we're going to teach you today how to get out of that. So make sure you take notes, re-listen to this one. This is the crux of the transformations that happen in my world in Men of Fire and Rising Father, and for me, myself. You got to let go of that old identity. Here's what happens. We hold on to things that hold us down. And we also lie to ourselves. We also give ourselves excuses. The things that hold guys down in lives that they hate, that keep them being fatter, lazier, more broke, keep their marriages ruined, keep them having a lack of respect from their kids, keep them miserable and frustrated. The things that keep guys in that world are sweets, alcohol, marijuana, vaping, porn, video games, gossip, bad relationships, mindless scrolling, doom scrolling, surrounding ourselves with negative people. It is these things that feel good in the moment but cripple our soul. All of these things are what keep guys living in hell. It's not complicated, but you already knew that, right? You already knew that about yourself. You tell yourself that at different times of the day, but then at other times of the day, you say, oh, but it's okay. Like you're a guy who needs to stop drinking. We just had a guy, awesome guy in our group. He's 78 days sober. Alcohol was destroying his life. He's now 78 days sober. He's lost 30-some pounds, 78 days sober. He's talking to guys about starting rental properties for the first time. We've got other guys who own, 10, 20 rental properties, and they're teaching him in the group how to do this himself. So not only is he quitting alcohol, his marriage best it's ever been, he's down 30 pounds. He's also going to start creating wealth. All because now he just let go of alcohol. It's not that this is a business mastermind and someone told him the perfect thing to do. He now loves and respects himself enough to where he believes anything is possible for him. He now sees himself as somebody who can achieve greatness. The old version of this guy, he could never do that. Not because he didn't have the information, but because he didn't see himself as somebody who is capable of achieving that. So as long as we see ourselves as somebody who's undeserving, unworthy, or incapable of achieving greatness, we will always be stuck in this complacent, lackadaisical, mediocre hell. That's why you must surround yourself with people who think differently. Why you must allow yourself to be pushed to this new level. And why you must give up the things that are holding you down. Alcohol is holding him down. But here's the problem. We say we want to change these things, but we really don't. We say we want to give up these things, but we really don't. We love them too much. At certain times of the day, we don't want them. At certain times of the day, we do. For example, after you've eaten an entire pizza, you tell yourself, all right, the diet's starting tomorrow. I feel disgusting. I don't want to be the guy who eats all this pizza. The next morning, you're hungry again. You see half a pizza in the fridge. You don't give two shits about that other guy. You're like, it's not that big of a deal. I like pizza. And you eat half a pizza. Then you feel gross about yourself. And then once again, you become the guy who says, no, this is the time. This is the time. I'm done with this. I'm done overeating. I'm done feeling like a slob. I'm disgusting myself. And then the next day comes and you're hungry again. And you say, I don't know who that guy was. I'm hungry again. I like pizza. It's not that big of a deal. So you literally change who you are every single day because you have no discipline, consistency, and you don't know who you are. You have no rock solid identity. You're just like a raft floating in the ocean. And you're like a rat in a cage who's controlled by chemicals, like a little sugar drip. You get hungry, so you eat. You're not hungry, you don't eat. You feel like drinking because you're stressed, you drink. You have no control over yourself. Lack of willpower, lack of self-control. You're like a raft floating. Every little wave that comes bounces you around somewhere else. It's a terrifying place to be, especially if you're supposed to be an unbreakable leader to your family who your wife and children can count on. And then the guy who's like a raft floating in the ocean wonders why his wife doesn't respect him, isn't attracted to him, wonders why his kids don't listen to him. Well, because who are you? You're not a leader. You can't even get out of bed in the morning. Why do you think? These things hold us down. We say we want to get rid of them, but we really don't want to get rid of them. You're like, yeah, I want to quit porn, alcohol, cigarettes, vaping. I want to quit sugar. Like, ooh, but I really like it though. I really like it. I kind of want to get rid of it. It'd be nice. You know that getting rid of it would take you to the next level, but you like it too much. You're like, I'm not. That's the kind of guy who always is saying, I need to think about it. He uses aspirator language. Remember the aspirator episode we did? He's the guy who's always thinking about it. He's the guy who will never truly commit to anything. He's always saying, I'll start tomorrow. We'll see. He's the guy I was talking to this morning. He said, I'm going to think about it. I said, no, cut the bullshit. You're going to be an executor. You're going to decide who you are. The guy who is still in love with the vices that hold him down is always thinking about it because he's thinking about whether he really wants to change. He's not thinking about whether it's possible, whether the logistics are correct. He's thinking about who he is. That's what he really means. He's saying, I haven't truly decided if I want to do this or not. Meaning, I haven't decided who I am yet. I don't know if I'm over the hill. I don't know if I'm settling for the dad bod. I don't know if it's time for me to get ripped and disciplined and be a leader. He doesn't know if he's the guy who wants to be best in the world or if he's the guy who wants to manage his decline for the rest of his life. He's saying, I'm in my 30s and 40s. Am I going to push myself, suffer, be uncomfortable, and reach a new level of life that will require sacrifice? Or am I going to accept that I've hit my ceiling and manage my decline for the rest of my life? This is the identity crisis that guys go through at this age and why they have such a hard time deciding whether they're going to do these disciplined habits or not. It's not whether they can or can't. It's who they are. That's the question. It's who are you? This is the real problem guys have. It's an identity problem. They do not know who they are. Because if you're a guy who regularly goes to the gym, you're listening to this, you're like, well, why is that such a problem? Why can't these guys just get up and go to the gym? Yes, it is simple. Logistically, it's simple. It's not expensive. It's easy for them. They could figure it out. They spend $1,000 a month on vices anyway. They can afford $50 a month to the gym. They can figure it out. They can have a conversation with their wife. They can arrange transportation. That's not the issue. The issue is they're deciding, am I going to start going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, every week, for the rest of my life? Am I going to be that guy? If I do that, I don't get to sleep in as much, and I really love sleeping in. I don't get to be as buzzed in the morning, and I love staying up late and drinking and hanging with the boys, and I love staying up late See, they're going through all the vices that they truly love and deciding whether they're really the guy who can give those up. They say they want to change, but they don't really want to. They love these vices too much. They have their claws in them. So this guy will also tell himself a lie. He will say he's trying, right? This guy he's always thinking, he's always feeling, he's always planning. He's always trying. He's never doing. And it's like whenever I talk to a guy and I said, well, what's your plan for this weekend in terms of your nutrition? He's like, I'm going to try to do good. I say, nope, start over. Trying is a lie. You don't say, I'm trying to hit my nutrition. I'll kind of do the workouts. I'll sometimes do nice things for my wife. Whenever you do that, you're the guy who is dipping his toes in the pool to see if it's cold. And if it's too cold, he's not going to go in. That's the guy who says, I'm going to think about going to the gym. He's saying, let's see what I feel like when the alarm goes off Monday morning, and I'm going to let my feelings decide. He doesn't know who he is. He's not the guy who's saying, I'm going to be the best in the world next year, so I will be at the gym 6 days a week for the next 2 years straight. There's a very big difference there. Trying is a weak, non-committal word. It's just dipping your toes in. It is a pre-built excuse for whenever you fail. It's a way for you to get out of accountability. Because if the benchmark that you set for yourself is trying, how can you fail? It's like, well, I tried. It's like what you tell a little kid who's trying something for the very first time. It's like, well, you tried. But you're not that anymore. You're an adult who needs to get healthy and disciplined so he can live his best life. No longer is trying an acceptable benchmark for you. You must go. And you must get uncomfortable, and you must push yourself. Trying is no longer good enough. Stop saying, I'm going to try, I'm going to think, I'm going to decide, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. You're procrastinating. You're putting off what you know you have to do. You're giving yourself an easy way out. It's a little escape route. It's a little parachute. You're giving yourself a trampoline in case you fall. You're not really willing to go all in. And the guy who does that forever, he finds himself like that 64-year-old man I talked to who has run out of time. His finances are in the toilet. His relationships are in the toilet. He's roommates with his wife. His kids hate him. His health is done. He's got a couple more years left, and it's too late because he told himself these lies for 40 straight years. The solution is you must have a do or die standard for yourself. Stop using weak aspirator language. Do or die. Non-negotiables with yourself. I will get out of bed at this time. No matter what. I will hit these nutrition goals no matter what. I will work out 6 days a week no matter what. Be the person who works on a vacation. I know, what a blasphemous thought. That is what me and my wife have turned into. We're the vacation workouters. Every single day on vacation, me and my wife, we go to the gym. We find a gym. If we can't find a gym, we're doing it at our hotel or at the vacation house, wherever it is. We are working out. It's a non-negotiable for us. Find non-negotiables. You don't try to go to the gym. You must work out every day. Do or die. That's what it has to be for you. Soul level commitment. Make a contract with yourself. Stop doing weak language. I will go to the gym. It's non-negotiable. I will make these calls. You're trying to build a business? I will spend 1 hour calling people. I will spend 1 hour prospecting today. I will do the things I must do. Non-negotiables with yourself. And then you got to think about why. If it's just about you, if your entire motivation is just about you, you will fail. It means nothing. It's not going to get you out of bed. It has to be about other people as well. I don't want my kids to look at David Goggins or Jocko. I want them to look at me. I don't want my kids to find their motivation and inspiration on YouTube. I want my children to look to their own father and say, that's the guy who's going to motivate me and show me a way. And they do. My kids say that I'm their inspiration. I've earned that through hours and hours a day, building a business, to quit my job, to take myself from overweight to ripped, to now them seeing me fail and try again and pivot and rise and master myself and master my world. My kids have got to watch me do that. I'm their inspiration. I want to continue being their inspiration. Being their inspiration today is not enough. I want to be their inspiration 20 years from now. Always give them a blueprint. I don't want to be the guy who shows them a path off a cliff. I don't want to be the father who my kids are like, oh yeah, my dad. I don't want to talk about him. I'm nothing like my dad. I know countless fathers who talk about their fathers that way. That's not going to be me. Be your kid's superhero. Be their inspiration. Be their rock. Be the guy who can comfort them with wisdom and lift them up with their strength. And the tragic truth is your kids will love you no matter what. They will love you if you're Superman, or they'll love you if you're a devil around the house. They are the ones who love you more than anyone else. But that puts an enormous burden and responsibility on us. Because if our kids love us no matter what, that means they're going to listen to us and follow us no matter what. That means that they're going to follow our habits. They're going to take our path. That means even when we're mean to them, they still love us and they let us do it. That means whenever we are snapping and irrational and judgmental and make them feel weak and bad because we're so out of control, they still love us and let us do it. Which then means we're creating negative future versions of ourselves within them. But it also means that if they watch us rise, get disciplined, live a healthy life, make our wife feel like a princess, and we're still pursuing her, and we're building a business, we're creating wealth, we're being disciplined, we're chasing our best, we haven't given up our life, that also means that they love us, we're inspiring them so that we will teach them a blueprint for a better life. Our kids will follow us off a cliff if that's where we lead them. But how much more powerful will it be if we show them how to truly live an amazing life? That's what we have the ability to do right now. That's our potential as fathers. We have the ability to show our kids how to live an amazing life. Here's what I want you to do. No longer do you think about eating the cookie, having the drink when you promise yourself not to, or waking up as a small decision. There are no small decisions. This is the only way for you to get out of this. Whenever you walk past a table has a cookie on it and you promised yourself, today is the day I eat healthy, it's not just that you're eating a cookie. The truth is, it only takes a cookie for you to be knocked off your standards. That's it. You must frame this in a different way. Whenever you don't get out of bed to go to the gym or to build your business, and these are the things that you know are going to change your life and your family's life, you know you have to be more energetic, more present with your kids, so you must go to the gym. You must get out of bed. Whenever you're choosing the covers, you are choosing the warmth of your bed over your children who need you. Because if you got out of bed and went to the gym, you would be showing up for your family. But whenever you choose the bed, you choose the covers, you're choosing your covers over your children. These are not small decisions. Your daily promises that you decide to keep to yourself are soul-level promises. It's a contract with yourself and your family. You're telling them, this is the man that I am giving you. Or this is the man who breaks his promises. Do not break your promises with your children. Do not break your promises with yourself. We have to let go of this old identity, this guy inside of us that wants us to fall in love with comfort. We are haunted by the ghost of the guy we used to be. Because he's the guy who tells us that we are not a disciplined person. He's the guy who says you're not good with money. He's the guy who says you have a short temper. And as long as we allow that ghost to live, the man that our family needs, he can never be born. As long as these vices and comfort hold us captive and enslave us, we continue to enslave the guy who our family truly needs. The lie is, I am who I am and people don't change. That's the lie. I've changed. I've watched hundreds of men change in Men of Fire. It can happen. So stop lying to yourself and saying it's too late, I'm too old, it's not possible for me, it's only possible for other people. That is a lie that is keeping you stuck. You are better than that. Your identity is not a fixed fact. It's a set of standards. It's a set of actions and habits that you decide to take every single day. Think about your old identity like a scab. Your old identity is a scab that is designed to protect you. For whenever you're weak, you're wounded, or you're learning, it's there. It's like your ego. Your old identity is the scab. So you've held on to it so long that that scab has become your prison. It's stopped protecting you, and now it's limiting you. You don't need it anymore. The true healing and the true growth requires you to rip the scab off. It will be painful. It will feel raw, but it's the only way for this stronger skin to grow. You need to rip it off. You have to let go of your old identity. Another reason why you are stuck in this old identity is because it's too comfortable. You are more loyal to the version of you that's failed than you are to the guy that you could be. Because it's comfortable, it's predictable, it's known, and it's safe. You know your excuses, you know your failures, you know the things that make you feel good and are comfortable, and you continue to keep those close to you because they're safe. Because the man that you could be is unknown. It's fearful. It requires investment. It requires risk. It requires you to go out on a limb and do something different. And many guys in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are past the point of trying new things. And they have this rock solid stone identity, and they're unwilling to change. They just accept who they are. And their dreams have died. All the fire within them is extinguished, and they just accept a mediocre life. The way to get out of that is to burn that old version of you, rip the scab off, and truly believe inside that it is possible. Ditch these excuses. When I say burn the old you, I mean burn your excuses, the ones that you've been giving yourself for 30 straight years. Your limiting beliefs are your identity. You want to know, how do I burn my old identity? Burn your excuses. I'm not a morning person. Bullshit. No one's a morning person. I'm not organized. No one's organized until they learn how to be organized. I'm impatient. Yes, you are, because you're undisciplined and because of your bad habits and because you don't give a damn. You want to be patient? Learn how to be patient. Work on yourself. Learn to control the inner frustration and chaos. All of these excuses are intentional neglect to yourself and your family. So I want you to audit yourself. What are the limiting excuses and beliefs that I have that have become the person that I am? It's like somebody whose trauma has become their identity, or they're allergic to peanuts and that is now all they talk about, or they're depressed and that's all they talk about. They find one limiting thing about themselves and that becomes their identity, and that is now safe for them because they use that excuse to not achieve anything in their life. They say, because I have this limiting belief about myself, it makes logical sense that I therefore can't achieve anything in life. And it's a safe way for them to live in their basement and play video games, or not expand their business, or not go to the gym, because this excuse staves off enough criticism and judgment from other people and from themselves to where it's okay for them to do nothing. These limiting beliefs are your cage. This old identity is your cage. So let's reframe it. These are not descriptions. They're excuses you use to avoid the hard work of becoming somebody new. They are the prison bars. You must burn them. Here's another metaphor. Imagine your old identity like a snake skin that refuses to come off. It's like a snake that refuses to shed its old skin. It will be suffocated. If you do not let your old identity go, all your limiting beliefs and excuses, you will be suffocated, just like a snake that does not shed its skin. Growth is not optional. It is a requirement for life. Suffering is a requirement of life. Shedding the old you is a requirement of life. That old skin was you, but it cannot contain the man that you're becoming. I had to go through this process. I thought in my early 20s that I was constrained to the dreams and goals I had as a high schooler. Whenever I was a high schooler, I wanted to be a band teacher because I liked band class, basically is what it was. And they were like, you have to decide what you want to do. Part of me wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I had no idea what that meant. I was like, okay, just start a business. Doing what? And nobody in my circle or my family was a business owner, so I had no models. I knew nothing. YouTube wasn't popular back then, back in the day. So I was like, okay, well, I got to pick a job. I like band class. I'll be a music teacher. And then I was there for 14 years. But because that was my goal and dream of as a high school kid, a lot of my 20s, in my head, I was like, well, I got to do that for the rest of my life. I can't change. That's who I said I was. No, you're allowed to change your goals and dreams. And that was a huge revelation for me. Especially in my world, it was like a super high-performing band school. It's like blasphemy that anyone would quit their job. It's like, no, I'm not held back by anyone. I don't owe allegiance to any of you. I owe allegiance to me and my family and the people that in my purpose on life, the purpose I was put here for. Let these excuses go. Let these traumas go. Let your negative identity go. You're in your 30s, 40s, 50s. You're saying, I'm the way I am because of my father. Let it go. I'm the way I am because of my wife. Let it go. Because of my ex-wife, because of my divorce, because of blank. Let it go. These things do not control you. But these excuses have become many a man's identity. The trauma he went through, alcoholism, depression, anxiety, stress, my boss, my job. Whenever you say that, you give those things power, and you are basically telling yourself, I am not strong enough to overcome these external factors. No, you are, if you say you are. It all comes down to that, because that's your identity. If you tell yourself you're strong enough to overcome them, you are. If you tell yourself you're not, you can't. It's like the mindsets of the two guys I talked about this morning. One of them says he's going to be the best in the world 2 years from now. The other one, before this morning, said, no, life, it's too late for me. I'm too tired, too old. There's nothing I can do. Both of them had the same ability. Actually, the other guy has more ability. The one who said it was too late. More ability. The one difference is their mindset, their identity, who they believe they are. So if you're listening to this and you believe these excuses you've been giving yourself, or you believe that your wife, your dad, your mom, your boss is the reason why you're stuck, you're adding cages to your prison. It's not true. Cut the excuses out. Cut the limiting beliefs out. Those are your cage. Imagine you're a trapeze artist at like the circus, and you're the guy holding on to that bar. The only way he sails through the air and can reach the next one and perform a great show is if he lets go. The guy who holds on to his limiting beliefs and identities, like the guy who's too afraid to let go of the bar, he just holds on to it. He never lets go. You must let go for you to fly and be free. But many guys are too terrified. They're too terrified to spend money on something new. They're too terrified to invest in themselves unless it involves things that make them feel good right now, like food, alcohol, toys. They're too afraid to get uncomfortable. They're too afraid of judgment and comparison. What will people think? What if my buddies make fun of me? People that aren't really thinking about you, they're too terrified, so they never let go of that bar. You got to burn the ships like the Vikings did. It's exactly what I did whenever I quit my job. 0 guaranteed sales coming in. I quit my job in June. 0 guaranteed income coming after that. Gave up my pension, my medical benefits, my retirement, everything. Gave it all up. And I was married and had a family and had a mortgage. But I had an undeniable belief in myself. I burned the ships. I said, no, you're not going to take a sabbatical. You're not going to do a side job here. You have to go all in on this, because you need that fire under your ass pushing you to greatness. Burn the old you. That's the only way you can get past this. How do I let go of my old identity? Burn it. Don't give yourself a think about it, half in, half out. That's the only way you get through this. Here's the battle plan. How to kill the old version of you. Here's what I want you to do. Okay, you want to be serious about this? Follow these instructions. I want you to actually write a eulogy for the old version of you and be brutally honest. If I look back at journal entries of myself, I see brutal honesty, and that is what helped propel me to burn that old version of myself. So the old version of yourself that you want to flee, what did that guy believe? What were his habits? What did he tolerate? What were his exact excuses? All of these things are what I want you to burn down. But you need to identify them first. You must write them down. I still have this list that I look through every morning. It says, you're going to quit these behaviors. This is the old version of you that you're not going to tolerate anymore. Excuses, beliefs, habits. What did he tolerate? What promises is he always breaking? What vices are holding him down? What anchors are holding him down? You need to write these things down. Then we're going to create our new identity. We call it identity hacking. Define the man that you need to be. Okay? Not with vague words like better. You're not going to say, I'm going to try to be kind of feel like doing better this weekend. I'm going to try to go to the gym 5 days a week. No. You're going to say, I will go to the gym 5 days a week. I will eat 200 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbs, whatever it's going to be for you. You're going to say, I will every single morning hug my wife and give her a kiss and tell her I love her. I will take my wife out on one date this week. I will not allow her to clean up the house and sit on the couch and eat potato chips, drink beer, and watch TV while my wife does all the dishes. I will not allow my wife to lead the family while I crumble and whine. When my children test me, I will count to 10 and be patient and present before I decide how to respond instead of snapping emotionally. I will read a book for 10 pages every single morning. You must be specific with the new version of you. I will make 100 cold calls this week at this time. Accountability. Give yourself accountability. Non-negotiable standards. Do or die. You're not going to try to wake up at 6 a.m. That's the old identity. The old identity is, I'm going to try to wake up at 6 a.m. As soon as you say try, you're going to fail. New identity, I wake up at 5:30 a.m. No snooze, feet on the floor. Have a funeral for the old you. You wrote your eulogy, now have a funeral. Kill the old man with your actions. You wrote it down, okay? You wrote down the old version of you, the eulogy on a piece of paper. I want you to actually burn it. Write it down, put it into your computer so it lives there forever so you can reference it, and then burn that piece of paper. It's exactly what we did at the Men of Fire retreat. We burned it. So, step 3, daily funeral. You're going to kill the old man with your daily actions. Every single time you do not skip, that's a nail in the coffin. Every time you respond with patience instead of rage, that's a shovelful of dirt on his grave. You do not become the old man. You build the old man, one disciplined decision at a time. This isn't something that just happens. It's somebody that you become through your actions. Disciplined actions every single day. Disciplined habits every single day. This is a guy that you can build, but it has to be step by step, brick by brick, promise by promise. And then you're going to starve that old version of you, starve the ghost. You can't be both guys. As soon as you have both guys living within you, you're constantly living in frustration. You're living with the guy that you could be and the guy that loves the comforts and devices too much. You're going to have this eternal frustration and battle going on with you. Then you're going to be snapping. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be wondering why you can't be present. It's because you're telling yourself you want to be better, but you don't really want to be better. You don't really want to give up alcohol. You don't really want to stop looking at that. You don't really want to get up early. You like it too much. You tell yourself you want to change when you feel good, and you break the promises whenever you don't. That's what causes inner frustration in the battle within men. Define the enemy. Say, these are the things that are holding me down. Create the new identity. Have the daily funeral by you actually taking action, and then starve that past version of you. Starve the ghost. Don't give him a second of your attention. Cut out the limiting beliefs. Your wife and children do not need the man that you were. They need the man that you could be. You need the man that you could be. They don't need your excuses. They need your promises. They need your actions. They don't need you to want to change. They don't need you to think about changing. They don't need you to see if changing is going to maybe work out next week when the finances are right. They need you right now to make a change. You're a father and a husband right now. Your family's living with you right now. Is that not enough for you to change? Change right now.